What's my homies, DJ80 here, and today I'm going to be doing a review of the LEDJ 100 watt UV light. So let's open the box and see what we've got. So here's the box that it comes in. Inside we get the unit itself, which is quite big. We get some extra lenses so you can change the angle of the beam. We get a manual, and we get a 3-pin plug which has a PowerCon connector. So a lot of the new lights now are coming with these connectors, and from what I can gather, these are supposed to be better than the normal plug connectors. So looking at the unit more closely then, it's a nice solid construction. It's a metal casing. It's heavy, it weighs about 3.5 kilos. It comes with these dual brackets here, so you can mount them. You can hang mount them or mount them to an overhead bar, but you can also floor mount it as well. And if we look at the back, so we've got our usual at the back here. We've got power input, we've got power output as well. We've got DMX in and DMX out. There's your fuse, and there's your little menu. So you can use it to change settings on the light for DMX, master, slave, and other bits and pieces. Your standard menu that you get on a lot of your lights. And you also get a safety hook as well, so you can put a chain through it so it doesn't fall. Oh, well, as you can see, I've brought a pair of these lights. And I don't normally plug shops, but I'm going to give this shop a plug where I brought these from, because I've used them twice now, and both times they've been really quick, really professional, and a great price. So the shop I brought these from was Total Sounds, which is in Reading in England. They had a great price on for a pair of these on their website, and I'd actually rang on the Tuesday morning just to ask a little bit of advice about UV lighting, and I ended up buying a pair of these from them. I also brought my Chauvet helicopter Q6 light from them as well, and on both occasions I've ordered on a Tuesday lunchtime, and they came by Wednesday lunchtime, so I think that was worth a shout out. So let's switch it on. So that's the UV light there. Let's just lift it up. Okay, so I'll try them again later on in the dark as well. I've managed to borrow my local village hall. It's about 45 foot by 25, 30 foot. It's a nice rectangular shape, and I've got a little stage here, so I'll just show you. That's the distance to the door at the top, and I'll go to the top. And this is the distance here to the back where the stage is. And you can see I've got the two LEDJ UV cannons up on a table. So I'm going to try one first, and then we'll try it with both of them. So I've got one on, and as you can see the lens is really bright. It is still daylight today, as you can see, and I've got it pointing at the corner over there. So I'm going to go over there, right to that far corner, and we'll see if it works on my shirt and hat. Okay, so it's not very scientific, but what I'm going to do is I'm quite close to the UV light here, quite close to the stage, and as you can see it's working on my clothes. So I'm just going to move back, and we'll see if we can see when it kind of runs out. So I feel at the moment nearly about, here we go, about here, I'm about halfway down the hall. And here I am about 3/4 of the way of the hall. So I have a slight, I can see, if you want to come a bit closer, I can see a slight glow on my laces, but it's not as bright as obviously when I'm close up. So I don't know if you can see anything there. So what we're going to do now is try it with 2 lights. So next up I'm going to try using both of them, and because I've still got a lot of daylight coming in through the hall, I've pointed them towards one corner. So when these will normally be on, I'll have them sort of pointing down towards the dance floor. So we'll see how we get on with 2. Okay, so here we are with 2 of them on me, and they're quite bright in my eyes. So as you can see, I've got a nice glow going on here. I'm at the halfway point and I still have a glow. It's getting quite close to the end now. Obviously I can see the UV effect still quite clearly on my clothes. And that's because I've got 2 pointing in the same direction. As you can see, you can still see the UV on the wall here as well. So what I'm trying to do is compensate for the fact that it's a bit light in this hall, and typically when you're holding the party it's going to be quite dark, and I think when it's darker obviously the light glows more and it's more visible. But yeah, even in the far corner here, this is with 2 of the UV cannons pointing my way. I hope that little display helped. I'm going to just do a quick conclusion. It is quite hard for me because I haven't used them in a live environment yet. But I've put together a few negatives and positives. So negatives, these aren't cheap lights. I got a good deal on them. There is cheaper alternatives out there, so it does depend a bit on your needs. The size of the parties and just how much UV lighting you want. Similarly, you're not going to make your money back on these until you've done a few UV parties and charged that bit extra, so there's that to bear in mind. Looking at it from the positive point of view, a great positive, one of the reasons I chose these is that they're LEDs and not bulbs. Some of the retail, if you research UV lighting and look at all the alternatives, it can get quite confusing. There's lights that are about a third of this price, and they're like, for instance, 24 3-watt bulbs. So you start questioning, is it cheaper to buy a light that has 72 watts of UV but buy 3 of them, or is it more effective to buy one of these lights that has 100 watts of UV? Which is 3 times as expensive. So there's a lot to juggle around, and I think the problem with these particular lighting effects is that you're not really going to know until you're in your venue and you've used them once or twice. But I went for the big guns straight off the bat. I had read some bad reports about UV lights that use bulbs. Apparently the bulb ones get really hot. And then obviously there's the health and safety risk as well, which if it falls over and the glass smashes or whatever and the unit's hot itself, for me that was like, well, I'd rather not take the risk, I'll go for LED. But for you, depending on your setup and how it's set up, that might be a better option for you. You do get the additional lenses, which I think is a nice touch. At this stage I can't see me using them because I want a wider spread as possible. But for perhaps permanent fixtures, these lenses will come in handy. Another great plus with these is they're floor mountable, so you can hang them and use them on a lighting stand, or you can put them on the floor. So if you're on a stage or something, you might not need to hang them. There are some similar lights to these, very similar, but they don't have DMX, so just check the spec. I nearly bought some that were a bit cheaper than these, but they didn't have master and slave, and because I knew I wanted to, I needed that bare minimum. But these do have that, which is really good. And just lastly, they seem well built. You're not getting an overpriced product. They do seem well built, nice solid construction, and I think they'll last a good lifetime. So yeah, that's my conclusion. I hope it helps. And I hope it clears up some of the confusion, like if you had any, like I did with searching for UV lights. It's an absolute nightmare trying to balance out cost versus UV output. But hopefully the demonstration will help you. Best of luck, whatever you choose. Thanks for watching my video, and I'll see you next time.